right. Are we going? We got Kurt24 out in the chat. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. All right. I think, all right, there's a little bit of a delay. Let's see how we're doing on Twitter, because we should be live over on Twitter. And are we? Yes, we are. We are live on Twitter. Okay, so we're live on Twitter, and we are live on Rumble. I'm going to wait for a couple people to come in. Guys, as you're coming in here, please do me a favor and smash the thumbs up. 5x5. All right. Hell yeah. Cool. Smash the thumbs up. We are live tonight for the Shooting News podcast. I see Kurt24 out there. He was first, so we're always going to shout people out. Remember, guys, there's a 20-second delay in this show, so I'm going back and forth, making sure I am checking the comments. We have a great guest tonight, fellow Brownells BOP family coming in here, first time on the show. But also we're going to be showing some guns, talking about some guns, because that's what we do here in the Shooting the Woods podcast. But let's start this show off right. Alrighty, what is crack-a-lackin', everybody? Thank you for joining the Shooting the Woods podcast. This is episode 222 here on Shooting Gallery. My name is Joe. We really appreciate you guys listening to the show every single week. Since we've been on Rumble, we can actually hold guns. It's clear. I'm not going to have a desk pop. Don't worry. Don't need that in my life. That is the Kit Kat bill. We're going to get to that in just a quick second. But first off, before we start the show off right, we have to thank the people that make this show possible.
Guys, this podcast is sponsored by the amazing people over at Aegis Gun Care. Aegis Gun Care, I've been saying it for years, is the leader in firearms cleaning, lubrication, and solutions. It's a two-part system. You guys have been hearing it forever. I love Aegis Gun Care. This is the cleaner. It gets all your carbon off your firearms. It doesn't have a smell, and it's non-toxic. Then you follow it up with their special lubricant. We call it Joe Juice here on the Shooting in the Woods podcast. This stuff is amazing. It prevents rust. It lubricates your firearms. It does a ton of amazing qualities, you guys. I cannot stress enough how much I love Aegis Gun Care. They also have cleaning kits available. This is their field kit. You get everything from 22 up till 45. You can get patches, you can get hats, merchandise, and even some pretty cool cleaning mats. If you do me a favor and go over to Aegis Gun Care and use code JOEJUICE, you will save 10% off your entire order. And we thank Aegis Gun Care so much for sponsoring today's podcast.
Guys, I've been saying it for well over a couple years now. Use code JOEJUICE at aegisguncare.com. We got the Joe Juice right here as I drop it right on my MacBook, you know. Best stuff in the game. Changed my mind. It's going to be pretty hard to change it, but thank you guys over to Aegis for sponsoring the Shooting This podcast. And also, we have to thank the next person that's able to make this show possible.
Guys, this podcast is sponsored by Liberty Bell Firearms. Liberty Bell Firearms is the Cerakote of choice here on the channel. They did the Kit Kat build, paint on the frame. This is the SCT frame. Everything we built over from Brownells Parts. I said, man, I want this to look like a Kit Kat wrapper. He did it. This is awesome. The video is not doing it justice. He not only did the logo, but he did the pins, controls, all different colors, extremely custom. And he also offers laser stippling on things like AR-15 grips, laser engraving as well for metal parts, say your slide, frame, 1911 grip panels. Guys, if you want to get some really cool designs done or get some stuff Cerakoted, please check out Liberty Bell Firearms. They're offering the listeners of this podcast 20% off by using code JOJUICE. We thank Liberty Bell Firearms for sponsoring today's podcast.
If you guys don't like the Kit Kat build, we can't be friends. Look at how great this Cerakote came out. You could tell he even did the pins, all the external controls, this bright red, a little bit of holster wear on the top. Remember, look at that nice Roscoe barrel. All this stuff has pretty much been bought from Brownells, minus the Holo Sun and the barrel. Everything else is Brownells parts, guys. Check them out. We know we're like pretty much, Brownells family here. Everybody knows how much I love them. Check them out, and also check out Liberty Bell Firearms. 20% off. Use codes JOJUICE, and that's on your Cerakote and your laser stippling on handguns and grips or whatever you need. Jay does great stuff. Please check out Liberty Bell Firearms. But we are going to be bringing in another Jay tonight onto the podcast. First time coming on the show. He is part of the Squad Drills crew with Gamish, Trigger Dad, D's Gains over on Instagram. New to the YouTube world, but link is in the description. Great channel. He is able to. We're gonna get into how he got into firearms and stuff like that, but he's obsessed with barrel porting. He ports literally every gun he has, and I got to ask him about that. So let's welcome for the first time on the show, Jayweth. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? That you are very, very correct on the assumptions you made there. So thank you for having me. First time, long time, but been watching the channel, been following you. So thanks for having me on, man.
Dude, no problem, man. Well, see, that's the thing. Gamish turned me on to all you guys down here in Florida, and I'm like, all right, well, since I'm like, becoming a Florida man, I kind of have to get my bearings, get my crew together. I've been trying to get in touch with Gamish, just all getting us together for a while, and It's just work schedules, this, that. Now I got weekends off. I'm like, guys, let's just get together. Like, we have a range day. But yeah, man, I've been watching your channel for a while, man. It's been, it's in the way you do your videos is kind of. Were you new to firearms? How did you get into firearms?
So I'm new to firearms as a whole. I've been into firearms for about 5 years. My dad was in the Army, but I never really got exposure to firearms. He was a tanker, so I didn't get to see a lot of the handheld stuff. I didn't know if he knew. I'm assuming he knew what he was doing with it, but he was always in the tank doing his thing when he was doing tours overseas. But yeah, my first passion was cars, man. I was always into modifying cars and doing that stuff, and then I took a break from that and started getting into golf just to kind of do something outdoors when I'm in Florida.
I was going to say, it's
summer
Florida
all year. Yeah, everybody comes here to golf, so why not me too? And then I took a break from that, and then I had my first kid, and D's Gaines, Darius, said, hey, man, you got a kid. Let's have a conversation about guns. And I was like, I'm freaked the hell out, man. I don't know what I'm doing.
That one friend that's just like, all right, you got a kid now, so you got obviously responsibilities. You got to protect your wife, your
oh yeah,
incoming child, and then it's like you have that one friend that's just like, you need a gun, and you're like, whoa, dude, what am I getting into here? Like, I'm having a kid. I'm not going to war, but then again,
it's totally fair, man. And I would say if any other person would have said that to me, I would have not jumped in as much as I did. But Darius and I, so the romantic side of the story is that Darius and I have been friends since college. We were in a fraternity together, in each other's weddings. He was my best man, so we've known each other for 20 years now. And for Army, I'm Army brat. He's an Air Force brat. To find friends like that is hard.
Yeah.
Especially as an adult now, to keep friendships like that. So when he's like, hey man, just trust me, come out. And he had he's had a P80 and a Brownell slide, nothing fancy. And took me out, and it, just like that. One of my favorites.
These slides are just for the money. That like I have that like acid sweat where like it rusts everything. The PVD coating on this holds up great.
It's phenomenal, man. I think what people don't get is that they get stuck into the cool stuff about slides and the aesthetics, and I'm more of a function driven person. And so when I shot his gun, I shot a regular Glock 19 and a couple other guns. He had some Ruger something or other. I can't even remember because it wasn't that important back then.
Whoa, back
it
up.
was not great.
Ruger,
I got a lot
what,
of
I'm hoping. I'm guessing he probably had to shoot like an LC9 or something like that, a single
Yeah,
stack. Yeah. No.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. That gun
yeah.
sucks. That gun's the
No, it
biggest
was
piece of dog shit.
stovepipe in every other shot, man. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not great. And I
I'm
was
a
like,
huge Ruger fan. I'm like, listen,
oh,
this. You gotta pump
think
the brakes here, pal. Rugers are awesome.
with the one he had, and of course, I know he doesn't always maintain his stuff, at least he didn't back then. When I was shooting, I was like, "What is this unmarked thing?" And he's like, "I made that." And I was like, "You can do that?" He's like, "First of all, yes, you can do that. Second of all, you're pretty good at this. You understand the manual of arms, and we both have an IT background." So he kind of broke it down to me from a safety perspective, the the foundational rules of firearm safety, and then just how to do things like if it's stovepipes, how to handle the gun safely downrange and do a malfunction clearing, and that made sense to me. So it's like, okay, no one has done that for me because my only other experience with a firearm, I have two other experiences. One was with a shotgun with my friends in high school, shooting at pots and plates in their backyard. So just horsing around when I was in high school. And the other was my father-in-law. He took me to the outdoor range somewhere, and he just said, "Here's a gun, aim that way." I'm like, I know nothing about this. The safety, what I need to do, how do I load
Yeah.
it? I know nothing. How to rack it correctly. And so I had no experience, and it was just totally. I mean, you've seen the stuff online, the memes, the reels, where people put someone that doesn't know what they're doing with a gun, and it just goes all over the place. I wanted to avoid being a meme.
Yeah.
So
Of
so
course.
yeah, man, as soon as I got into that, I was like, well, I don't have a CCW. I don't have anything like that. So how do I get started? And he said, well, why don't you just build a P80 like me? And that trends with our history because we've had similar cars, we've had similar purchases, and it's great because you have someone that has that experience that went through the rough spots, and then if you have an issue, you can triage it together. You have backup parts. You have built sort of a double of everything. So
Yeah.
we have naturally kind of gravitated toward the same things because we think similarly. We're almost sort of like twins when it comes to our gun safes, but it's kind of cool because I didn't know what I was doing. He showed me how to build a P80. He came over, we dremeled it, we did all the things with the pins before the P80s were over 150 bucks now. It was like super dirt cheap. And
Yeah,
then
I
he
mean,
said
you
brown
can get
outside.
you can get the frames like for something, but if you go to DLD Hardware, you can get the jigs and he can and all the nice drill bits that he sells. Check out DLD Hardware. I do see Full Metal Sensei out in the live chat. What is up, brother? First time seeing you here. I've been following you on Instagram for a while. Thank you for the support.
What's up, bro?
I did not forget about him. I had to make sure. Remember, guys, if you're watching the show, there is like a 20-second delay, so I keep going back and forth. He's saying friends that build together stay together. Yes, that is true. And that's the thing. Building a P80 again, you're being new to guns, and you're like, what you can. This is an 80%. Like, there's no background check. Like, what's
Oh
and like
yeah,
you hear all that. You hear, and you're probably not indoctrinated, but you hear all like the scary things on the news
ghost
saying,
gun.
yeah,
Yeah,
ghost guns. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
What they don't realize, serial numbers don't do shit. They
yeah,
don't. They don't. Serums do not solve crimes. It's a track from manufacturer to end user.
yep.
That's all it is. But yeah, I can understand. Like, I mean, hey, I'm from Massachusetts. I grew up with like a bunch of gun laws where like I was still nervous doing my first polymer 80 build or doing my first 80% build. It's
Yeah.
very nerve wracking, and being new, I didn't get into guns till I was like probably like 20. Not even maybe like like 2021 I didn't get my
Yeah.
first gun, and I didn't grow up with guns. My parents were like very very anti-gun growing up.
So say
So
Massachusetts, right? So what do you expect?
yeah
Yeah,
now
my family on my mom's side's all in New York. So when they started seeing that, my uncles were like, "All right, that's cool. Where's your license? Where's your permit?" I'm like, we live in Florida. We don't do that
we don't
here."
need a permit per
And say
se, like we're
my background, we don't need permits. But yeah, I got a bunch of questions about it. I thought I will give him credit that I could have just bought something out the store, just said I have this, but I thought it was cool to kind of learn about the parts and learn from the ground up because then I built it with just a regular kit, and then he would go and get some upgrades, and then I'm like, oh, well, what is that? I want that. And he's like, well, that's this thing. I said, well, can I get that? He's like, well, don't copy me. How about you get something else? So if you like it, maybe then I'll change it. And so we're basically building two guns independently now with the same foundation. But then I'm trying the Overwatch trigger. He's trying the Apex trigger. And we're just trying things different left and right. And eventually it's like, hey, we both like this. So now let's find a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. I mean, my first setup, I was totally LARPing with an outside the waistband kit, just shooting like a cop, like that all the time. And it's not sexy. I definitely have videos of it. I couldn't even clear a plate rack at all from like 10 yards. I ran out of ammo.
I can't do that. Don't worry about it. Plate
Yeah.
racks, come on.
Oh man, it was so embarrassing, but it's like he was always saying like push yourself. You're really good compared to others. You don't need to compare yourself, but just know like the majority of people that have guns don't do this. They don't train, they don't practice, they don't have accountability or standards. So you're actually doing better than majority of the people. So when I went and got my CCW, I sat in that classroom and I just heard the questions and I saw the people and people asking about, warning shots and if you're in if you're what is it? If you're in a roadway incident, can you brandish your gun? All these different things, and
So
I'm just
like
like,
they're not dumb questions, but it's the stereotypical questions
oh yeah,
that
it's the stereotypical of I have a gun, that's the answer. And he and I had talked about this is just another tool. And I've said that to anybody that's ever talked to me that because my day job is not even close to guns. And people say, oh, really? You don't seem like a gun guy. And I'm like, what does that mean? I'm not walking around in ring, white, and blue with tats and,
yeah, you don't
a
got
dirty hat. I
yeah,
mean,
you don't
what
got
do you
full
expect?
sleeves and
Yeah.
a douchebag beard and yeah.
Yeah, and so I explained it to them. It's just another tool. It's just like a hammer. I can kill you just as bad with a hammer as with a gun. Just and it's got two sides to it. So the pokey side and the flat side, whatever you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was my experience, and it's just been off and running. I definitely was shy to meeting people because then once people said, "Hey, you guys look like you're doing something fun and shooting, can we do that?" And I'm like, "You're a stranger. You have a gun. I heard about the Chris Kyle thing. I'm not sure about this."
I
I
get
wasn't
that. Yeah,
I wasn't so
okay,
quick for
that's
that.
understandable.
Yeah,
That does make sense. I get that. Um,
yeah.
so you learn about guns and all that stuff. What made you start doing like a YouTube channel, Instagram type deal?
I at first it was I just want to kind of show to people what I've been learning. I've been told, and I think when you hear this something over and over again, you have to kind of listen to it a little bit more. I'm typically very humble about things. People like compliment me and say, "Hey, you're good at this," or you do this well. And people said, "You're good at public speaking. You're good at leading and explaining things." And I used to do tech support, so I explain things to people that don't know tech so that they can understand it. I'm the resident tech support for my whole family, ranging from folks from 84 down to 12. So, I know how to talk tech to everybody and break it down. So I thought, okay, let me see if I can break this down for the everyday Joe that isn't a gun person and doesn't have the resources that I might have with, connections to Brownells and other organizations. And I can leverage my organizational connections to information and then break it down. And then because of those connections, as you know, we have opportunities that everyone else doesn't have. So I can maybe save some people some money. And so I thought, why
Yes.
don't I give this a try? And, I started meeting people and they're like, I'm glad that you went through these different versions of this. I'm going with that one. You're saving me 3 or 4 purchases. And I thought that was really cool. And then the videos started rolling out because I just started watching a lot of car guys doing cool videos about their build series. I watched Casey Neistat and a couple other
Yeah.
really good YouTubers that are very engaging on their quality of video. And I was like, okay, I don't normally watch a bunch of gun guys unless it's like high level quality, but they have a production team, like your Grand Thumbs, your Colio Noirs, and
I
I'm doing
actually
this
don't
all.
watch either of them. That's
I do when it strikes me. I'm subscribed because I want to be notified. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe to your favorite channels. But I just look at for inspiration, and I realize I do all my filming on an iPhone, and
I
it checks the
mean,
box.
and that's the thing too. An iPhone for people that are wanting to start doing like firearms content and stuff like that. An iPhone is a amazing camera. You get
Yeah.
yourself good audio, all that stuff. I have a DSLR that I've had for a couple of years, and that's a little bit different than an iPhone. And
Yeah.
I do more stuff with it, but I started with an iPhone. For the first like probably 8 months to a year, I use my iPhone and
Yeah.
tripods, all that stuff. You know,
Yep.
you get better, and then you realize, okay, this is starting to take off. Let's upgrade this. Let's upgrade that.
Yep.
Um, and
Yep.
then you start kind of making connections, whether in the industry as a company or with other creators. And you find your niche, and then everyone says, "Oh, why don't you try getting this? Why don't you try using that?"
Yeah.
Like, I know Flying Rich, he uses an iPhone almost exclusively, or his Insta 360. Like,
I just
little.
bought one of those.
I want to buy one. We and him just went to the gathering, and he had it, and I'm like, "Wow, that is great video!" Like,
Yeah,
it just
it's pretty sweet. Just besides the, first person type of thing, you could also just the fact that it can do a wireless connection, you can see from the actual like I guess the base that it's called, whatever
yeah.
that it connects to. It's amazing tech, but yeah, the iPhone for me works right now. I just recently stopped. So I was getting feedback from people saying your videos are good, but the quality is trash. I don't know if we can cuss on the channel,
You can
but
drop an F bomb. Don't worry. I've
okay.
dropped many F bombs before. My
I don't know.
first,
I don't do it all the time, but
it's all
when it's
good, dude.
appropriate.
Again, you're talking to a kid that come from South Shore, Massachusetts. Okay, I say the F word like it's just like saying, "Hey, how you doing, buddy?" You know, one of my first big podcast episodes that I had was with Brandon Herrera. It's still on the show. That has more F bombs in the entire show than I've had throughout my entire podcast. I
Okay.
like that. That's how bad it was. And then I'm like, don't do that. But yeah, if you drop it, you can swear on the show. Don't worry.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I've been, I got two kids. I've been cleaning it up. Um, but yeah, I recently just changed my video editing process because until the last two videos on my channel, everything else has been recorded, edited, and uploaded straight from my iPhone, and it was just crushing me with storage capacity and
Oh yeah.
processing, and my phone was just dragging ass. And I'm like, okay, how do I do this better? And someone gave feedback through Gamage, someone that I don't even know, who just was watching my video. I'm like, hey, this is good. I've met him before, but this is not great quality. Like, how do we fix that? And I was like, oh, okay. So my I have another computer at my desk that's not for work, and I was like, all right, let me just try to do this. And so I just started tinkering around with some software. And I'm like, okay, I can keep the quality that the phone's giving me, because when you upload from your device to software on your device and then up to YouTube, it like totally just craps out. I mean, I'm recording in 4K and it does not get there, but now using my computer and some software, it's maintaining the 4K quality and it looks sharp. And I'm like, okay, it's not the DSLR, multimedia company level, but I'm an average Joe, so I think it works just fine.
I film in 1080. All
Yeah.
my videos are in 1080. You would never know it. Like, well, you probably could if you're like really into that type of stuff.
Yeah. But if you're going for the content versus the actual like visual quality of it, then
Yeah,
it's not that big of a
exactly.
deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I don't know the difference between 1080 and 4K. It's really hard. I have to like stare.
Yeah.
So we do this. We were starting to do this now on the show. What is your carry gun? We always do a strap check. What are you carrying?
Oh, so my carry, I've been rocking it the whole year is this is what I call the Sig
Ooh,
X Mac Bro. That's there's only two guns like this. You can guess who has the other one. My
um,
twin.
I'm guessing D's gains on
These gains.
Instagram.
So this is a Sig X Macro lower, and this is a Brownell's 365 XL upper, which is a lot heavier than a standard Sig upper. If you can imagine why you like the Brownell's Glock slide. So this is a Brownell slide, and then it's been ported by Montu Tactical with Lucky Sevens porting. There, it's black. You can't. There you go. That's a YouTube trick, right? Um,
Really, I did not know that Brownells made an made a XL
XL.
slide.
Yeah, man. So it's got I'll tell you the way I know it's heavier just besides the weight is when I had an X macro holster, it wouldn't fit. This is beefier than an X macro slide. So, and it wasn't because of the length. The width of it and the weight of it is there, and it's got some really good serrations up here. So good for really getting a good grip on the gun. Um, this thing rips. I mean, it's a macro, so it's got the 17 rounds, which is awesome. And then the porting really is chef's kiss on top of it. The weight of the slide helps all of that. So I've been carrying this. I will admit to everybody, I'm a little hesitant on carrying it because of no safety here, even though the 365 platform hasn't had any documented issues like the 320.
That's the only thing that stopped me from getting a Brownells has been selling the 320
FCU.
No. It not even with an SU. It's a full. It was a Legion. I want to say it's like a Legion comp or something like that. 320, and it's a great gun. Like I want
Yeah.
it, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I know somebody that's actually involved in the lawsuit with the going off in the holster and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and I know she was affected by it, but then again, I also I'm not gonna really flip this around, but this is my 365X.
Yep.
This has the Patmos Revelation slide from Patmos Arms, JC Supply.
Nice.
This has a 365 macro Spectre FCU. So it's the Spectre FCU. That's why it has the gold trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a pin 10 round mag because I'm too lazy to drill it out. But but I love this gun. Like it. The only thing I don't like about it, just so I don't flag myself, the rust. Like I said, I got that acid sweat. It's the back plate.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had that problem yet. I mean, it was swapped over, and I've heard people talk about that with SIGs in general. The rust, because when we first got macros, we bought macros the same day, and everybody's like, "Oh, here we go, you guys are doing the same thing." But they also said, "Oh, it's gonna rust, you're sweating." I'm like, "Well, first of all, I don't have a very rigorous job. I have a desk job here, and I also go to the office every now and then. But when I'm at the range and I'm in between shooting drills, I'll put my shirt underneath and put my holster on top. That way to kind of help with the sweat." But I mean, the Cerakoting was done by Trigger Dad. He doesn't offer that really much anymore. He's kind of getting busy now. But you should check out the slide, man. I definitely think it's something you should look into if you've got an XL or if you're looking to do that.
The funny thing is,
great.
because I have the XL grip, and I'm like, all right, I didn't know this, and then I'm like, I just sent my macro grip module that I got when I bought the FCU.
Yeah,
and I sent that off to DLD After Dark, and
this is why we build a community, man.
And I'm like, why didn't I knew they made SIG slides, so I'm like, why didn't I know they made an an XL slide? Because I'm like, I might just buy get an XL slide.
It's if you like the Brownells, you'll like that one. Oh, did we lose Joe?
I am a dumbass. I literally hit the button because I was trying to go in between screens.
I thought, oh, this is my show now, everybody. Welcome.
I was like, no. I see Kurt24 is out there. He says, I think YouTube knocks the quality down. Videos always seem cleaner here on Rumble. Yeah, I do notice that. Full Metal Sensei says, I film on a russet potato with a pen light I stole from the gas station. Okay. Gen Champ Jr. is out in the chat as well, guys. Thank you so much for following us and watching live. If you have any questions for me or Jay or Josh, if I don't know, I always am like nervous of like, all right, do we use the real name or not? Some people,
Sure,
but
sure.
please shoot it in the live chat. And like I said, it's a 20-second delay, so I'm just going back and forth as long as I don't hit the back button again.
I put it there because there's so many J's at the range lately. And it's either short the first name or their name's Jay, and I'm like, all right, let's just go back to Josh. So
yeah.
Cool.
Well, dude, and that's the thing. On your let's get back to your channel though. You've done some really cool stuff. Like you just did your first AR. You just did your first AR build ever.
I did. I sure did.
And it's thanks to our buddy Gamage. And I still
the safety.
Yeah.
Load. And safe.
I mean, because you tried showing this off on a live stream and YouTube cut you off, right?
I showed off something. I think it was the MMP.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this again, the way I've crafted my channel now, it's my journey through 2A, because people have said, what's your goal? And I just want to try everything. I want to be exposed to it all. I want to find my lane, but I don't want to just be a master of my lane. I want to try everything. If you want to take me shooting out of a helicopter, never done it. Let's go do it. You know, if you want me to flamethrowers, you know, stuff like this, I mean, as soon as, so 2 years ago, me and the Squad Drills guys were brought out to Brownells for a trip. It was like a training day weekend. We got to do pistol training with Kevin Dixon from the Real NOC, or No Other Choice.
He sounds hot.
He's an awesome dude.
He sounds really hot.
Depends on your flavor, but
I know Kevin.
No, Kevin's awesome.
Kevin's cool. I enjoy him.
So we got to do that, and so for a lot of us, that was our bread and butter. You know, we do pistol as almost all the time when we go shooting. Then we got to do medical training, which I've never done. I
gotta do that. I've yet to do medical training. I've been wanting to do it. I just haven't found the time or a class locally or anywhere to try it out.
So I'll add an extra cherry on top. So my medical training was from Sean Heron at We Like Shooting.
Sean's great. Sean's a great guy. Like, I really enjoy Sean. Yeah.
So, and I didn't know the brevity of Sean's reach in the community. So when I got to meet him, I was like, oh, this is a cool guy. And then I was like, oh, one of the other guys that's in Brownells, Hoodlum, was there with us.
Yeah, I know Hoodlum, yeah.
And he was like, this is Sean Heron. He's got a podcast. I'm like, I don't know who the hell this guy is. He's got a big beard, and he's very smart, and he can shoot long range like a mother. So I'm going to listen to him.
That's the beauty of, like, why I was so happy that when I got into the whole BOP and stuff like that, because everybody that Brownells works with, and it's a community. Like, if you are like, you know, there was a few people that reached out because they're like, oh, you're BOP. I didn't know I'm BOP too. And, like, you know, we just started a conversation. I think that's kind of how I got in touch with Gamage, because I followed him for a little bit, and I'm like, oh, wait, he's in Florida. Oh, damn. Oh, he's Brownells. Okay. And it's just, and that's the commute. That's what I love about the Brownells community, is like, you get guys like Sean Heron, who he is very humble, and from what I know of him, super cool. Like, when I first met him at Iraq Veteran, I was at like maybe 300 subscribers, if that. And he was just like, hey, what's up, man? Oh, I've actually seen your channel. What's going on? I'm like, whoa. And then I got into the BOP, and I met all these people, and it's just super cool. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, man, I was amazed with how humble everyone is and how open, because again, my previous experience was nothing. So I just knew what I heard from hearsay and the intimidation factor, and would just call it out. A lot of FUDs out there that are like looking at it saying, I'm going to gatekeep this. And I'm like, well, why? Why won't you help build up the community, help build your fellow neighbor so they can be equipped to know what they're doing, even if they don't have the things. If you built community, here, take this. We're dealing with a crisis, you know, protect our neighborhood, what have you. But yeah, the Brownells community, man, is amazing. I credit them for all of my success every single time, because my channel wouldn't be where it's at. My connections wouldn't be where it's at.
I say it all the time. If I didn't have Brownells, I wouldn't be doing my channel. Like, since I moved to Florida, if it wasn't for Brownells, I wouldn't have a channel.
Yeah, and they're one of the few companies that are doing things the right way, with allowing the community to share what they're doing versus just putting a bunch of propaganda out there, right? I mean, even though we're Bureau of Propaganda, it kind of makes sense that we're doing it for them, right? So if you think about it. But no, when I went out to Brownells, I met Roy Hill, I met Perry Gunsmith Beard, I met Cody. You know Cody.
Yeah, I just got to meet Cody at Iraq Veteran this year. Solid dude. Walked up to me, he's like, "Hey, what's up, Joe?" And I didn't realize who it was for a second. And I'm like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh shit! Hey, what's up, Cody?" Smoking Pew. If anyone is looking on Instagram, check him out. Amazing person.
Yeah, all these guys are great. And then to top off the training, in between the medical and the pistol, we got to do long range precision rifle shooting, which I've never done. I don't know anything about parallax or windage or any of those. I don't know any of those words. And we got training from, I feel bad, I don't remember his last name. His first name's Cole. He's from his Precision Discipline, and is his tag on Instagram. He's also with Predator Armor. He's a former military shooter, you know, long range shooter. And they provided all the guns, all the ammo. I mean, it was a full, like, just learn and experience, make content out of it, type of thing. And they had us, learning the basis of using like a kestrel and windage and adjusting the parallax for your size, your eye relief. I was fortunate enough to actually shoot with Hoodlum, who used to shoot in the military for a short amount of time. So he actually was able to like coach me up a little bit and also invest more time in me because I've never done this. And he's like, yeah, I've done this. I'll probably pick it back up like riding a bike, which he did. He was a great shooter. Um, and they took us from 100, 200, 300 yards and like, okay, now go over to this bay and we're going to do 4, 5, and 600 yards shooting. And, in Florida, it's flat. Out in Iowa, they've got, valleys and gulfs.
Yeah.
And so there's like the wind is coming this way and that way. I didn't know what to do. It was beautiful. It was quiet and it was an awesome time. I successfully hit targets at 600 yards, after a couple hours of training. And they're like, you guys are capable shooters. You know what you're doing. You understand manual of arms. Other people that just show up and bring their stuff, they're out here all day not hitting anything. So, it was really great to have that weekend of just diving into what, a snippet of the world of the 2A community could be like, especially with people helping you and giving you information and just being open arms about it. And then, we got to hang out afterwards and break bread and just tell
Yeah.
jokes and make connections. We brought our own, guns for the pistol day. So we got to show people ported guns and what that was like. And,
Yeah, so
you
let's
know,
get into that. What's caused you to get into porting literally everything? Because you, my man, are the reason why this gun it needs to get ported. All right,
yep, it does.
it's a Roscoe barrel, and I haven't ported it, and I'm like,
Oh man.
is it do I do it? And explain. And for those who don't know, porting is when you take your barrel and you have a window slide like this, and literally there's holes in it that helps release gas. So what gun do you got there? What throw that up?
Oh, so this is my P80 frame, my very first one. I've never let it go. And then this is a Zafiri precision slide that I've
Yep.
just had for a long time. This is my first ever barrel. This was ported by a company that doesn't exist anymore. It's called Mod K. But
I've heard of them. Yeah, they used to
yeah,
make AKs.
yep. They don't exist. They were South Florida. They don't exist anymore. But what got me into porting? Uh, I think that it's in our best interest as advocates to leverage every advantage possible when it comes to shooting firearms. So when people talk about they're getting stippling done, why do you do that? Well, it helps me hold on to the gun because of sweat, or it's better ergonomics, or I've got big hands, so I need the grip to be bigger, or I need to get the grip chopped down. So whatever fits your need, take every advantage as possible. And so for me, porting, I just learned about it a little bit. I shot a comp. Darius had a comp, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm not crazy about how that feels in hand, with the slide slamming into the comp. It's just not my preference. I'm not knocking them. They still have good performance. And then he I blame Darius. He said, "Hey, I'm learning about this porting thing," and so we learned about the science of it, and we understand, combustion and the physics of it, not just let's just do this thing. And then we just had Mod K poured a couple barrels and we're like, let's just try it. We had these barrels from Brownells that went to our Glocks. Let's just try it. And as soon as we shot it, I was like, oh, oh, now this is easy. This is way easier. And I'm gonna get flagged for people, saying shooting 9 shouldn't be that difficult, have that proper tactical grip down. But also you don't know what you're going to respond like with adrenaline if an actual incident happens and you actually have to discharge your
Exactly.
firearm. So you don't know if you're going to have proper grip and proper everything. So having another advantage is there. And me, I have small hands, so
So this
I use
gun,
like
yeah,
extended controls and all that stuff.
yeah, this gun is going to be a lot snappier than this gun.
Yep.
It's just no matter what, they're both 9mm. And again,
Yep.
I'm making sure I'm not flagging myself because this is
Yeah.
hot, ready to go. This is my carry gun right here. I haven't been able to find a holster for my Kit Kat build because the SCT frame is hard to find holsters for.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that before we get back into the porting. I know you just did a dagger or just reviewed the dagger.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people carry that frame for a holster now. Have you thought about? I mean, the Kit Kat is now a custom thing. Um, I know a company I can talk to you about, Grayman Solutions. They make great one-off holsters for different guns. It's a one-man shop. You should check them out on Instagram.
Yeah,
They're
I follow him. Yeah,
company.
I follow him.
Yeah, he could probably knock that out for you. But I've always also thought about that too. So the reason why I left the P80 was because I couldn't find holsters. For
Yeah,
it.
holsters on P80s are very hard to get, but
Yeah.
like my dagger, I'm looking to get a new holster because I'm gonna be probably picking one up from Fat Tack holsters. or fattack.com, the Fat Tack holster. I actually carry the North Coast tactical version from my regular Glock 19s, the tuck holster, because my buddy Josh from Black Diamond Guns and Gear, he designed it, and it's literally, dude, if you're a bigger dude, best gun to carry for a appendix style rig. I got that, real big flappy gut that hangs over, and I'm able to carry with a red dot, and it's awesome. But yeah, with the porting though, I think what will make this little custom build all set. I don't know what I'm gonna do after I port it, because I'm like, I'll get an extended mag and all set. And then I'm like, oh, well, now I'm gonna have to build another custom gun or something like that.
What iron sights you're running? I could tell you what you should do there.
Well, I have a Miraclo here. Okay, so here's my debacle. I have a dot, so I don't care what iron sights I'm running.
Right.
I don't care. So I have the blacked out Miraclo suppressor head sights.
Fair. That's very fair, and that's. And if they weren't blacked out once you port it, it's gonna be blacked out anyway.
Exactly. So I don't. I'm used to doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So, and that's the thing. So if you port it, obviously it's like a fireball coming out the top of your slide.
Yeah. So to bring some educational background to it. So everyone knows when you shoot a firearm, everything is going straight out through the barrel. When you port the gun, wherever the holes are, is where that gas and combustion is releasing. Sometimes some fragments of shell casing, depending on how good the ammo is or how good the porting is. But ultimately, wherever the fire was going straight out, now it's going in whatever directions it's going. So, for example, when I go shooting and Gamage is there, depending on what gun he's shooting, I don't stand next to him, because he has some guns that have side ports, and I don't want to feel that at all. So I'm like, I'm not lining up next to you. You're like the lefty at the dinner table that has to go on the other end, so we don't bump elbows. I don't want any of that. But no, I think a lot of my fascination with it was I started following a bunch of guys on social, like the tier 1 concealed guys, and they are excellent shooters. And then I started finding out, QVO Tactical, Monsoon Tactical, and all these guys connecting, and I'm seeing high performance guys that are just average guys that don't do competition stuff with the rules and regulations of you're not allowed to have porting unless you want to shoot open division, that type of stuff. We are, enthusiasts. That's my lane.
You like going to the range and having fun.
Right. You want to make it as enjoyable as possible. You want to make it as easy as possible for you, so that, you don't have to, fight the gun, even if it's big or small. And as soon as I saw more people doing that and talking about it and, breaking it down to me, I started reaching out to people. And what's amazing, besides the BOP community, is just that network of people I've, reached out to. They're accessible. I talk to Vinny from Monsoon Tactical every now and then. I'm like, hey, I got a question about this porting, and can you explain this to me? And, how much testing do you do? And are you really doing the science on this, or are you just jabbing holes in a barrel and hoping it works? And that's why, I don't go with everybody's porting. I'm very particular on who I work with, who I vet, to make sure that they are actually doing the science, actually doing the testing, so that my gun doesn't blow up on me or ruins, anything that I'm working with. And I'll just tell you, once you shoot a ported gun that's done right, you will want one. You may not just go head first in all the way, but you at least want one, because you'll say, this feels like I'm shooting something different than a 9 or whatever caliber you're shooting. It won't feel like that.
So I've shot Trigger Dad's CZ Shadow 2 Compact, because I was the one that installed his Cajun Gunworks trigger.
Was it ported then?
Yes, it was, and it was loud as shit. And I shot it in the indoor range, and I'm like, oh wow, but it was flat. Oh my god, it was flat.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I got to try it though, because I think it's a fun time. You shoot flat, just don't shoot it indoors, and I think you're all set. I'm without a range now, so I don't have a gun range. Yeah. So I have to find a place where I can shoot. I'm thinking about going to Guncraft, because it's only like 40 minutes away from me.
Yeah, they're an hour from me, so I'll go there. I mean, I drive past other outdoor ranges to go to Guncraft.
I have a range literally right down the street from me, Knights Trail, right in Nokomis. It's right Sarasota County Sporting Clays.
Yeah.
But they have a public pistol range, which I'm going to have to probably go there this weekend. I see Safety Harbor Firearms out in the chat. What is up, Walter? Safety Harbor just posted a YouTube short of him destroying an Enfield bayonet, and he went to go stab. He was like, oh, let's go do a bayonet charge. And he didn't realize he forgot there was a steel plate behind the cardboard. And it just was boom, and bent the tip. And I come into work, and he's like, "So this happened," and I'm like, "Walter, what did you do?" And he shows me the video. I'm like, "Oh, you got to post that. That's gonna do good." And he's like,
Oh
"Oh, it's
yeah,
at like six." He's texting me right now, 6,300 views, and I'm like, "Awesome, Walter." But shout out to SITW for
that's
firearms.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. I
I'm.
think I was gonna say the only thing about ports is that people say, "Do you see the fire, the flames?" I'm threat focused, target focused. So I don't really see it. That's why when I like take the snapshots of it, I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that. So if you watch someone else shooting it, you're like, whoa, look at those fireballs. You know, it's ridiculous. I haven't shot at night yet, so I'm not sure the effects of that. But you know,
I don't see myself shooting at night. That's not something I want to do. Like if I had night vision on and a suppressor, yeah, okay, cool. I'd like to try it. That might be fun. But real deal, I'm gonna have my Goon Beam. Which guys, check out Goon Beam. Use code JoJuice, 10% off your entire order. Great flashlight. Their EDC V2 is my favorite flashlight I've ever had. I carry it every single day, and it throws some serious light. So check
mm,
them out. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna definitely have to get into porting. But back to your AR though, what I want to know is what caused you to get FDE? Why did you get FDE everything?
because I'm cheap.
And let me guess, Brownells had all FDE stuff on sale, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah, so this is FDE lower. This is RAL 8000 upper, and handguard. Yeah, it was just whatever. I don't get why certain things are certain prices based off color. It's like cars. Like if a red car costs more than a white car, I don't get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Even though the extra flakes cost more money. But yeah, I was just like, okay, let me build this. I know Arrow's like mid-tier price and
Yeah.
really good quality. So let me just try that. I was gonna go with just a full PSA pre-built,
Yep.
$500
Great guns.
blem, and they're great. I just started talking to PSA. They're great folks. And it's like, no, I want to build it just like the P80 is like, I just want to build this and learn. And after I build it, I'm like, I don't want to build another one, but they're fun. I
You
get
don't
it.
you don't want to build another AR?
I don't know if I want to build them from the ground up. I like
Oh
customizing some
man.
bits, but I might do another one, maybe a shorty. But yeah,
I
it
think
just
once
what was on
you
sale, man.
yeah, once you start building ARs, it's really, really fun. Like I have this Brownells BRN 180 forged lower. They don't even sell these anymore. I was so bummed
Sick.
because I was like, why I like
Why
I'm
did I only
trying
get
to
one?
well, no, that too, but also I was like, oh man, I'm gonna do a build series. My viewers can buy these lowers. They don't sell the forged ones anymore, but just look at the styling of them. We're
No,
gonna
they
be
look
doing it,
phenomenal.
yeah. And I just added the Mean Arms carbon fiber grip because A2 grips
Ooh.
suck. But yeah, no, I actually built my first AR-15 from the ground up. It was when I lived in Massachusetts, we only could have fixed magazine ARs, so we had to have like a
Yeah.
MA loader that went through the ejection port like a stripper clip, only
Yeah.
10 rounds. But
Cool.
I every AR I've ever had personally, I've had this is the one I had the BR and I had the BRN 15 because when I
Mhm.
moved to Florida, my first thing I had to do is I had to get myself an AR-15. I wanted it to be from Brownell, so I picked, and it's just when they
Yep.
released it too. And I've been very happy with it. And I got a Safety Harbor Firearms lower. But and that's before I became an employee. Just want to throw that out there. But yeah,
It's part of the
ARs.
resume.
Yeah, ARs are just fun. It's so fun to build. We got 27 people watching the show right now, guys. Can I get 27 people smashing the thumbs up and also go
Oh, dope.
follow Jayweth, Jayweth. I keep wanting to call you Wealth. I always say Jayweth, and I'm like,
I
it's not.
wish.
Yeah, dude, I'm in the same boat, man. Don't
I
worry.
bought my Powerball ticket, my man.
Yeah, I live in
I'll
that.
send you some shekels if I get something.
Yeah, I live in that glass house. Don't worry, brother. But go follow Jay on Instagram and YouTube. Make sure you follow him. I have the link in the description. So after this show, please go and give him a follow. He is doing great stuff on YouTube. But yeah, man, that the gun came out great too, and I like the way you
Man.
did it where you looked at it of okay, how am I gonna what am I gonna need? And you got some actually cool stuff on there. You got looks like a decent angled foregrip.
Yep.
Looks like B5. Is it I'm looking like a B5 Systems
Yep.
pistol grip, and
It is.
then
Good eye.
I have the same SL stock.
I got this because I watch your channel.
Thanks. Oh, it's so sweet. Okay, you're the only thing because I watched your entire video series. The only thing I didn't like that you put on that gun was the muzzle brake, and I'm like, oh no, don't do that. Like that one for some reason, that one muzzle brake. I'm like, I've installed those before. I've
Yeah.
never been a fan of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. But how do you like it so far now that you've shot it? Are you like, oh man, this brake works, or it's like I want to change it?
So I don't have a lot to compare it to because other people I know shoot suppressed. So that's not a fair comparison. But
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, no, that's not a
yeah,
fair
but
comparison.
I will say it shoots fine. It's very manageable. It's not hard to shoot. It doesn't have a ton of kick. It's effective as far as precision is concerned. It's not terribly loud. I mean, I think it does just fine. I bought it because I know you can get the little oppressor on top.
Okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
so I figured I'll go that route eventually, which now I know after I got my first can on my PCC, I'll probably just get a can,
I
especially the
am
way they're
literally
turning them out now. I mean,
I'm literally going to buy my first can this week off Brownells.
yeah,
They got their Silencer Co. Omega Silencer Co. Osprey 9 2.0s for like $730.
yeah,
And I'm picking that up. I cannot wait. I couldn't own suppressors back where I grew up.
yeah.
So now I'm building a SBR with doing the Mean Arms Endo mag. So it's going to be 9mm. I have P
Nice,
mags. And the
nice.
upper I'm waiting on. I'm still waiting on it to get shipped because we're gonna be doing a whole build series on how to make a form, do your form one,
Nice. Very
creating an
cool.
eForms account. Big again, Brownells. If they were not like supporting me and like help and like you know one not they don't really send me stuff. I pretty much buy everything from them. Sometimes they'll send me some stuff here and there, but
Yep.
if I didn't have them, I wouldn't have the channel. But yeah, the King comp on those, the 9mm, I always had trouble because sometimes they'd come a little bit out of spec. But did you have issues threading that on? It just went straight. You didn't have any issues.
Oh, I had to put a crush washer and crank the hell out of it.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
you got it.
I had
Well,
to,
no, you
I had
got
to,
to do that for everything.
yeah, but no, I mean, after I timed it at home, not a problem. I mean,
Awesome.
hasn't
There
been out
you
of
go.
spec at all. Only thing I had was in another new BOP guy, Sarge Mayhem. He's the RSO at West Armory in Dade City, Florida. That's the indoor range that I go to, and that's who also hosts a 2A day for Brownells. They only
Oh
have like
yeah, yeah.
6 ranges doing that. Um, he's former military. He knows rifles, and Gamage is further of a drive than Sarge is. So I brought it to him because I was having cycling issues at first, and so you know, Gamage and I installed everything we thought correctly and realized that we just had the gas tube not timed correctly a little bit, and then I also didn't have the gas cranked up enough, and I didn't know about that. So with an adjustable gas block, it was great.
Oh, okay.
I
I
picked that
forgot
up.
you ran. I forgot you ran
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
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 So
I don't have some.
he easy fix for him. So
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, and that's the thing. Once you start building, like me, I'm like, okay, what other receivers can I build now? So I'm like, I got the BRN, I got the AR, I've built many other guns. So now I'm like, all right, I'm picking up one of those KP15 KE arms lowers
mhm.
that Brownells has, dude. They're $65.
Oh,
You can
ridiculous. Yeah,
just
I saw
buy
that.
one, and you can get a 9mm conversion magwell. Like, dude, why not?
Oh yeah.
Why not? That's the thing. Once you build your first AR-15, it gets addicting, and you can't stop building. I have
Yeah,
not bought a
I love
gun in a
building,
while.
man.
I just
And
buy
that's
receivers.
I was just saying I'm the same way when it comes to pistols because I will buy parts for pistols and then sell off the factory stuff that I'm not going to use to usually cover the costs for it. And the example I'll give is my first favorite build is this is my we'll call it a Glock 19. This is a shadow lower when they were selling the lowers.
Oh, I
You
didn't know
can't buy
that.
them by themselves anymore. So this is Shadow MR918 lower, and this is a Brownell slide. Triggered at Cerakote, but I had a Glock upper. I just sold the whole upper just completely, and that paid for almost this whole thing because people want factory OEM stuff, and it gets a bigger price point. And the Brownell slides are really affordable.
Yeah.
And this is a oh god, who makes this barrel? I can't even remember because it wasn't that big of a deal. It's like a $60 barrel somewhere, and then just I had Monsoon ported again with the Lucky Sevens porting, and this thing, I mean, this thing is my workhorse. I love it, and that's the trick I've been telling people is unless you're gonna modify the gun as is, if you see other stuff you want to do to it and you've already bought the gun, sell the stuff you don't want. You know, that's how I paid for this. I sell the whole macro, barrel and slide and all that. Just sold it on eBay, and someone paid half the price of this gun for just the upper. And I was like, "You're nuts!" Because I know the grip is maybe $100 if you're buying just the macro grip. You can't tell me this slide and all that together is $500, but that's what made it happen, and then a little
Yeah,
extra
people
coin for
will
the other
people
stuff.
will spend obnoxious amount of money on that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, it's
Like
it's wild.
that's why I'm like I can build a Shadow Systems MR920 for less money, but with stuff I want. So like I'm
Yeah,
not saying this is a Shadow Systems MR920, but I prefer the stippling on the SCT frame over Shadow Systems.
and that
I
trigger is
prefer,
dope.
yeah, though that's the
The
uh
Timney.
Timney Alpha Trigger
Yeah, I have one
bronze
of those.
blade. I was
Awesome.
thinking like, dude, I should send this to Johnny Glocks because he's right in Sarasota and have him do his Alpha Trigger work on it. But then again, it changes the trigger shoe, and I like the trigger shoe on this. But I like this undercut
Yep.
on the SCT frame over the Shadow Systems, and I don't mind Shadow Systems 200 round break in. Not a fan, but that's just because I'm cheap and I don't want to spend $200 in ammo
Sure.
to work in a trigger. I like the idea of a tough, tighter tolerances, but the accelerator pads, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
these gas bells. I like these better than the Shadow Systems.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair. Yeah, these are really
and
narrow.
but the slide is, I think the Brownell slides are for the money the best things you can buy. Other than if you go with like a Patmos slide,
Yeah.
Patmos through JSC Supply, they make great stuff. Guys, if you're looking for great slides, check out Brownells, but also check out JSC Supply. Use code JoJuice, 10% off your entire order at jscsupply.com. I see Christy Turtel in the chat. What is going on, my dear? Guys, check out the Heller Foundation. She says, I'm taking a break from filing taxes, literally the bane of my existence. You two have such calming, soothing voices. Well, thank you, honey. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I am still terrified to do my taxes. I haven't done it yet, and I have like 2 weeks left.
Nah, knock those out, man. With the family, I have to knock those out early. I won't have the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. I live on my own, so it's like I don't really. I have that luxury,
You're a
so
wild
like
animal, man. You're just a wild animal. You're just roaming free.
yeah. Oh, listen, you want to know like the highlight of my weekends off is if I'm not going to the range, I run down to the like pizza parlor, get a cheese pizza, and I play my Nintendo Switch all afternoon, or I'm editing content. Like this, I'm sitting at my desk for majority of the weekends, and my girlfriend's
That
like,
sounds great.
"You're like that sounds like a great time."
Yeah.
Well, and and that's the thing. I will give it to you because like I've been following you for a while now, and you have a very good balance of work, doing the content, and family, and I have to commend
Thanks,
you for
man.
that, man, because that
Thank
that
you.
that and I know you've talked about it on social media and stuff like that. You went through a little bit of a job change.
Yeah.
Um, you still didn't let that define you. I recently went through a job change. Best decision I could have ever made working in safety harbor firearms, but for a while it was a little bit of a rough patch, some uncertainty, things happened. I'm not gonna go into it just because
Sure.
I'll tell you offline, but just you're able to not let that stuff bother you. You brought your son to Disney for like once or twice during that whole thing, and I'm like, good for you, man. I was so happy seeing that. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I wish so. I appreciate the flowers, but I'll say, I got to give credit to my wife for that. She's the one that kind of picked me up because she had the same thing happen in February of last year. She got laid off, and so it's like I knew I had to pick her up and the family and kind of be the lead, which is I feel is my traditional role as the husband and the father.
Yeah,
But when I was down in my dumps, I'm like, I'm used to being the lead, and she's like, no, nope, we're gonna still do the things, and you're not gonna let the kids see you down. But the other side of the coin was the Squadros community, man. I mean,
yeah,
Gamage and Dalton and Darius and Fireman, and then the community of people that we just connect with. We have a very large group chat
Yeah.
of like 30, 40 people, and
Yeah, the
people,
gun con chat has been going. I've had to silence
yeah,
it because it's just going,
it's
and
worse
I'm
than
like,
that.
oh yeah,
It's worse than that, yeah. But community again is like what built me up because I told the guys, I'm like, hey man, I'm not gonna be able to make it to range days or whatever. And Darius is like, the hell with that. I'm taking you to go shoot clays. I'm like, I don't have. He's like, I will pay for you. You're coming. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll pay you back. He's like, you're not paying me back. I'm doing this for your mental health. Let's do this. I was like, all right, man, that's a good friend. And I've done the same for him and for the other guys. We support one another because at first, squad drills, and I'll just go on a side tangent. Squad drills at first just, shooting group. Let's just get together, shoot together. We can all rent the bay together, and then we can kind of like make it ours and hold on to it. And then it just started to be like, well, tell me more about yourself, get to know each other. And now we're just supportive on all things, as husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, whatever it is your relationship is outside of guns, how can we help each other and grow the community in a positive manner? And it's not bullshit. It's legit there. Some people come out to when we do an unofficial squad drills range day once a year, and people are like, I see your videos, I see you guys running around and clapping each other up and talking trash, hyping each other up. I thought it was all bull. And then when I come here, it's like, no, we're rooting you on. We're helping you elevate your skills. But we're also like, hey, let's keep in touch. What do you do for a living? Oh, you do electrician stuff. Hey, I need electrical work. I can give you some business. I know you now. I've built trust in you. Building that community of people that you can network with. And that's just helped. That helped me. People were like, keep posting your videos. We want to see what you're doing. Have some fun, shoot hoops, do something. I was like, okay, you guys are pushing me, making me stay active and up to date on things. And as soon as I announced that I got a job, everybody was like celebrating and happy for me, and they check
yeah.
in all the time still.
I was so happy to find out that when you were like, yeah, I got a job. I'm like, dude, good for you, man. That's awesome. And I was like, that's why I was like kind of bummed because I couldn't because Gamage actually invited me to the range day that you
Yeah.
guys had a couple months back, and I'm like, damn it, I work Saturdays, I can't get it off. But now I got weekends off, so
You got you, man.
I've been up Gamage is rear end, and I
Yeah.
was like, hey, I'm literally 6 months away from moving to North Tampa. I work in Safety Harbor.
Yeah.
Like, let's get a range day together. Not doesn't
Yeah.
have to be an official one, but hey, let's get to the range and go shooting a couple of us.
Oh, easy.
Like,
Easy,
you
man.
know. And like I was like, and he is super busy with his day job. But shout out to Gamage, guys. If you haven't checked out Gamage, got Gamage on YouTube. He's a amazing human being. He's going to
Yes,
be
he
at
is.
GunCon this year on one of the panels. I'm so happy for him.
Yes, he is.
I'm bummed I'm not going to GunCon, but I did the gathering. So with the timeline,
It's
who
fair.
knows? Maybe next year I'll go. I will be at IV88 and are you going to be doing Suppress Fest in October? And where is it?
Where is that at?
Capitol Armory in Leesburg.
I might be convinced. I've never been to anything like that because suppressors are new to me.
Yeah.
But like I said, I want to be exposed to it. But before I probably go there, I just have to do my due diligence for John Patton. If you haven't gotten your tickets to GunCon, they're still available. Get your tickets at guncon.net. Like you mentioned, it's going to be awesome. You got a full day of panels and educational seminars. You can network, meet companies. You can get free tickets for giveaways. And the secret I learned the other day was walk around and see all the different booths. And then towards the end of the day, find out who doesn't have many tickets and then just dump tickets in there and you might win something. So it's supposed to be an awesome event. If you can't go, Joe, they're going to stream it all over YouTube channels, various content creators. So it's going to be an awesome time. I was happy to convince all the guys to go from squad drills because it's always fun when you got ranking numbers and the wins can multiply, which is awesome.
Yeah, of course, and of course, and that's one of the reasons why I love going to events like that. Is one, you get to get networking done and try some new stuff out, but it's the camaraderie with your crew that you go with. Like when me and Rich went to the gathering, it was awesome. We met up with Mr. Big Kid,
road trip in it.
We've road trip together, but this time I drove up myself. But like Mr. Big Kid, 2A EDU, Kyle Gear Know How, he was on the show last week. We all went to after we were all said and done, we went out to dinner and we just had a ball of a time. Like it was just a great time. One thing I do want to before we go, because I know we're a little bit over the hour. You recently just picked up the Rossi 92. Now,
I did. I
yes,
have it. I have it here.
what is your plans for this? Because I saw your video and I'm like, okay, if he doesn't Ranger point that thing out, I would be so upset. I'm like, that
Come
gun
on, man.
needs a Ranger point rail. The
Yeah.
stock, I need to shoot a gun with a Ranger point stock on it
Yeah.
before I make any assumptions.
So, well, I was hoping. So Brownells actually carries some Midwest pieces
Yep,
for it,
Midwest is
rail,
also good.
and Midwest just released a stock shot show that is also like a tactical stock. It's not in stock right now. Too many times saying the word stock, but
It's okay.
uh, I do want to Ranger point it out as well because I have Gamage and Dalton as friends, and they have Ranger point stuff, and it is amazing. It shoots great. It's awesome to reload. It it just makes sense. So yes, it's gonna get tacticaled out either Ranger point or Midwest or somebody, and then it's not gonna look like it's gonna get wild. We're gonna
Oh
piss off a
yeah.
lot of people, which is the
Oh
point.
yeah, exactly. Because you people are like, you don't need to trick out a lever gun. It's like, okay, listen, I watch Yellowstone too. I love lever
Oh, I love
guns.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like there's something about a tactical lever gun, which for some reason
Oh,
it's the new hot craze for the past couple of years,
yep.
and everyone's buying. That's why that's why I can't just get a regular Henry big boy in 357 because they're so back ordered and they're
Yeah.
allocated to other dealers.
That's why I got the Rossi.
I'm looking to go with a Rossi because of that. Because I love Henry, but I don't want to spend $900 on a 357. Um,
Yeah.
I've tried Rossi's; they're great guns, and I'm like, okay, as long as I can at least get a rail, and if I maybe change out the stock, or I can get QD for a sling. That's
Yep.
my thing. Is if I'm having a rifle, I want to have the ability of QD. I don't like the traditional sling swivels, so.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
Yeah,
It's just
if
awkward.
it's dumb. Like it's just dumb. Like if you can't put QD on that, I don't need. That's not a rifle I need to buy.
Yeah. Do you have
Which
any
is
lever actions right now?
no, I don't. I need to get a lever action. But that is my debacle with the High Point 10 millimeter. Shout out to High Point sending it in for T and
That is
E, and
awesome.
we're gonna be getting some crazy Cerakote on this. Not gonna do too much, but we got the Viridian Optics RFX 44 closed emitter with a 12-inch riser. This doesn't have QD. It's the only
Shameful.
thing. Yeah, it has better sling mounts than like a lever gun,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna have to get like a T-Rex sling or savvy or some type of sling for this because I like to go hog hunting with this. And
Yep.
this thing is. I've been doing some dry fire with it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Cannot wait. So I was contractually obligated. I have to show off the High Point because it's so effing awesome.
No, it looks dope, man.
Oh, I can't wait to shoot it. I'm hoping I'm gonna try and hit the public range this weekend.
Yeah.
And I've never been to a public range in Florida, so I'm hoping it's not going to be too crazy because like I'm going to be bringing my camera and be like, listen, I'm not going to be doing something crazy. It's just a tripod, getting shooting footage, RSOs, back off. I'm not doing anything. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want people talking to me. I just like I'm doing this for like work. Like this is like this is my own thing. So it's like I gotta shoot so much dagger stuff this weekend, the High Point stuff. I gotta finish a couple videos on the Kit Kat build. So it's going to be a very long range session. I'm really excited, but
So I want your feedback and opinion. So for the Rossi, I'm not sure what direction I'm going, but I have two ideas: this way or this way. This would be nuts, right?
I was gonna say that the one, that color scheme would piss off people more on a lever action.
That's the objective. Is to catch the objective with my guns is to catch your eye, get a little bit of sourpuss look out of you, and then you watch me actually run the damn thing and actually know what I'm doing. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, and then you shoot it, and you're like, oh, this flamboyant looking SIG is actually really awesome to shoot. I just wish it was all in black or whatever, but
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the point.
To answering the chat, Christy's asking where's Gun Gone. It's at Brownells in Grinnell, Iowa, in the middle of ass nowhere of the country.
It's the only thing going on.
Yeah, only thing in Iowa going on, and like, and that was my other thing. flying into Des Moines, Iowa is astronomically expensive, even on Frontier, because I'm a cheap ass and I have to fly Frontier. Allegiant, their flights don't work out for me. And Safety Harbor Firearms is out there. He says you don't need no stinking QD. Walter, come on now. We all know I've been in the shop when you've gone on rants on why QD is awesome. So, you know, don't go. Yeah, don't go there. Walter is an amazing person to work for, and to hear him go off on like little like rants on stuff like on guns, epic. Like if someone could have a TED talk of what shit Walter says, oh, that I would pay-per-view that all day long. All right. But yeah, guys, do me a favor. We're over the 9:00 hour. Please do me a favor. Go over to YouTube and check out Jayweth on YouTube and Instagram. The link is in the description. He's got an amazing channel. Let's try and blow his channel up. I think you're over 1,000 subscribers now, correct?
I'm almost at 2K actually. I'm
That's
dude. 2K.
Good for you, man. That's what I kind of want. I was trying to stay away from content creators for a little bit this year, but there's so many content creators out there like you that it's tough to get a following on YouTube. Like it's tough. Like I'm very close to getting 4K, and I'm like super psyched about it because I've been doing it for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
But for the amount of time you've been doing content and uploading to YouTube, and you're almost at 2K, like I know how when I hit 1,000 subs, I was like, oh my god, like this is. I was like, wow, and like it. I always tell people don't forget these small incremental milestones, and getting to 2K, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
This is what the community needs to do is build up people like you, Trigger Dad, Gamage, Archetype of Man, who, if people don't know, that used to be Hungry Handgunner on YouTube. Nick, great dude. Flying Rich, DLD, Safety Harbor Firearms. Okay. He's a manufacturer, but he actually creates content and it does great. He does great videos and he's a riot. His channel, I hope blows up within the next year or two because just the stuff that he makes is awesome. And I'm not okay. It's a little bit biased because he's my boss, but also he's a good friend of mine.
There it is.
Exactly. I have to put that out there now because
disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. He signs my paycheck, but also Walter is a good friend of mine. So, like a personal friend, I knew before I became an employee.
That's fair.
Or Babyface P out there. He has Chromandium Arms. He does a lot of building. These channels should, if this was 2013, all of us would probably be over 100,000 by now because this is before the adpocalypse and before all this stuff. So that's why I was like, dude, let's bring you on here. Let's get our community. Man. Let's get our communities together and let's build you up. Like,
I appreciate that, man.
What is your next video you got coming up?
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot. My next video is I'm gonna be recording it this week. I just picked up 2 dagger frames from PSA, the compact and the full size. Everybody's got daggers. I kind of just turned my head away from them. I didn't know what's up with them. I got my hand on one. I was like, all right, this palm swell is pretty dope. The awesome. Price point's amazing. I got the 2-pack for $100. I'm like, you know what? Let me just review this thing, and then I'm gonna swap parts on it and just kind of do a little mix match of things and see how it works. I already know the trigger sucks. I just hate the trigger.
It's not the best.
I'm just not a fan of it.
I would definitely get the alpha trigger.
Yeah.
For that gun. If you need help with it, let me know. They can be kind of difficult because their pins are different from Glocks, but definitely go with the alpha trigger. That's like the best trigger you could put in that, or the Wheaton Arms trigger from Wheaton Arms. Those would be good. But yeah, I'm excited to see your dagger builds. I haven't really done that much stuff to my dagger yet because it's still on T&E and I actually have to pay for it. I'm just waiting for the invoice. So once that's paid for, that thing is going to get an overhaul, and you and I might have to have a competition on whose dagger's better.
Sure. Mine's getting ported no matter what.
I might port mine. I might not because I'm still looking to suppress it because I'm going to be buying a suppressor.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that.
And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to kick your ass in the Cerakote because Liberty Bell is an amazing. I'm
Okay,
not just saying it because he sponsors it, but I love his work.
that's fair.
If you haven't checked out Liberty Bell Firearms, guys, go check them out. Use code JoeJuice, 20% off. Okay, 20 effing percent off on your Cerakote and laser stippling on all your handguns. But we are over the 9 o'clock hour, though. I don't want to keep you on it because I know you have a family, and I don't want to keep you. I see real John Crump. Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold the phone. John Crump's out in the chat. I didn't even know this. Yeah, he will not have me on his show. First of all, John, you were all, don't pull that shit. I know you're sitting at your McMansion in Delaware, okay, and with the moat and a submarine helipad. I love you so much, John. You are always welcome on this show, and do not pull that crap. You are always welcome, and John Crump should be over 100,000 by now on John Crump News. One of the only people, one of the best people out there reporting on the two-way, and he doesn't care if he offends. He doesn't care as long as if you are effing with the American gun rights and a armed citizen's rights to defend themselves. He's going to report on it. He's going to expose you, and that's what he should do because John is an amazing person. Also, one of my best friends. So.
Oh.
Had to close that out because I went back and I see John, talking some shit.
I
And
take care of people, man.
yeah, Crump, I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for John Crump and Brownells and Flying Rich and DLT After Dark. There's maybe 4 or 5 people in the industry that at one point, if I didn't have in my life, it would not be a good time. So, John, I love you to death, buddy, and you're always welcome on the show. Before you start talking shit before I get off my show. So, but yeah, Josh, you have the last word, man. You tell people where they can find you. You pimp whatever you got to pimp, what you got coming on. That's what this platform's here for.
Sure. Yeah. I'll try to keep it brief because I tend to be a sermonizer. At least my wife says that. So first, thank you for having me on. Thank you I'm going to get close to 2K, and I always just think about if I'm in front of 2,000 people and they're listening to me at the same time, that's nuts. I just can't imagine that. But also 16 people paying attention to us right now, giving a shit on a Wednesday night. Like, that's awesome. So thank you everybody for watching and participating and just supporting Joe and me as well. All I got to say is follow me on the channels he mentioned. I've got a new patch and some new stuff coming out. I got some new branding coming out. I got a new fun business card with my new style.
Dude, that's dope. That
And if
I'm
you can't
jealous.
tell, you see that gun Boba's holding there? That's the Mac, bro. He's holding the Mac, bro.
I am so jealous of that business card because this is my old business card and it's very basic, like super basic.
I know somebody I can talk to you about it. And that's the other thing is that be open armed, be willing to help one another in the community. Don't gatekeep. Doesn't matter if you shoot Canic or High Point or Glock it doesn't matter. It all goes bang as long as you're being smart with it and put in the right direction. That's all that matters. We can all get along. If you have your own preferences, that's fine. And follow squad drills and the rest of the guys there. They're great people. They are my family. I wouldn't be here without them. I've got, them on my chest. And yeah, man, I love to chat with you more. I feel like this is long overdue and we should do this more often.
Yeah, dude. Hey, we're now that I'm now that I'm in the state of Florida, I'm trying to connect with as many people as possible. Like, hey, let's get to the range. We don't have to film content. Let's go shooting though.
Content will be filmed because we have to document what we do.
Oh yeah, if we don't document it, it's kind of like
it didn't happen.
It's offensive actually.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, next week is going to be a really awesome show as well. This show is awesome. Josh, I really appreciate you coming on. I've been wanting I'm trying to get pretty much everybody on squad drills on the show too, to kind of like elevate everybody. With the limited following that I have, and I thank everybody that has subscribed to the show and us being on Rumble because we can hold guns. We don't have to deal with YouTube's live stream rules. This podcast is going to be uploaded this weekend. We still have a bonus episode that I'm probably going to upload tomorrow from Saturday with Bubbles. If you guys don't know who Bubbles is, just watch the show. You'll know who Bubbles is immediately because it's YouTube, and every time I put his name in the description, it gets demonetized. So Next week we have it's actually an old colleague of mine from Cape Gunworks who still works at Cape Gunworks. He's got a new channel, J Downrange, and we finally are getting him on the show. Great time, funny. Oh my god, I can imagine he's probably going to bring up some stuff. We're not going to be throwing any secrets out from when we used to work together because that's not what this is about. It's just reminiscing on good times. He's got a great wealth of knowledge. Before you go, what is that? Because that is sexy. For those who listen to this as like an audio version, Josh is holding up this like
it's a gun. It's not anything else. It's not a
yeah, yeah. It's a gold, copper, high polished, like damn, that thing's nice.
Yeah, so this is my PCC. This is the Aero Precision EPC9 with a shortened barrel. It's got like a 6-inch barrel. That's not Aero Precision.
Show that up because that is
this
beautiful.
is Cerakoted by Trigger Dads with gun candy, and then it's got a Zephyr Precision Whisper Stick, which unfortunately they took off their website because they ran out of inventory. But it's a 9mm Glock magazine supported PCC. With all the goodies that you want in there.
That's a suppressor, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, when I'm like looking at it, I'm like, that's not like a forward.
No. This is a suppressor, man. It's nice and quiet, gassy as they always are. But yeah, this is my fun toy. This got a ton of use at 2A Day, man. I mean, because we supplied 9mm. Everybody wanted to shoot all the pistols, and they said, "Oh, that's 9mm too." And I'm like, "Yeah, use your ammo that we're giving you from 2A Day." And this thing got worked, and it ran flawlessly. So I'm happy everybody broke it in for me.
Okay, so if we get together and shooting, you got to bring that because I want to shoot.
Absolutely, it's always in the bag.
Oh, okay, good. Because I'm gonna shoot that. That looks dead sexy.
Yeah,
but as always, guys, stay safe, stay shooting. We'll see you next time. Peace. Hold on, make sure I get everything all set. That's good. Good.